Welcome to Cents and Sensibility. My name is Chris, where we like to talk about money here without the stress. I'm here today with my co-host,
Phil,
and our good friend,
Kevin.
So today we're going to be, I think it's episode 4 now, talking about some debt horror stories.
Still getting together.
Yeah, you know, every day's a new day, so we're getting it figured out. But, so, Kevin, let's just kick this off. You know, tell us about yourself, how you got into being a certified debt consultant.
IAPDA certified.
Oh,
Hey, stop that. Yeah.
razzle dazzle.
Yeah, man. 40 years old, turned 40 this year. Have spent the last 20 years working out how credit works.
Hell yeah.
My own finances. In my 20s, like a lot of people, I didn't understand how credit worked.
Yep.
I just knew that you had to attain a really good credit score, and you had to have one of those in order to pursue financial goals in your life. So, of course, we all went through those hiccups of spending too much, not understanding compound interest, and I got myself into some hot water.
Oh, shit.
Racked up a bit of debt myself, nothing crazy like the horror stories we might talk about today, but it was certainly a trial by fire lesson. And I think a lot of people learn the hard way, how credit works, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So, been in client services and sales for years, and I had a good friend that actually went through a similar program and talked to me about it, and an opportunity came up to meet them and the company he was working for, understood more about the industry and what they were doing to really help people. And, that's, I think most people in this world, man, we just want to help other people.
Yeah.
Have a brighter light at the end of that tunnel. And I was able to dive right into it, and gives me so much satisfaction,
Respect.
and that's what we're doing, man,
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
From getting yourself out of debt to helping other people.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's that satisfaction at the end of the call. When you hear people just thanking you, for your time and your knowledge and expertise in a subject like this.
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah, I feel like, it's like me in the military. I joined just to, like, give back and, the whole do something greater than myself or whatever, right?
Of
But
course.
like you said, and just helping people out, help out how you can. So, yeah, well, love that, man. Thanks for that. And then, so I guess diving on into things, what is, like, the wildest or craziest kind of, like, debt story that or person that you've come across or dealt with?
Yeah.
And how bad was it?
Yeah. It got pretty bad. I really had to dig into the archives for this one. I've been doing debt relief, debt settlement for just shy of 5 years. So I've heard everything.
Yeah.
The worst stories, but this one in particular really hit home. It was a really touching story. So a woman had called in. She's a young woman in her mid to low 30s, and we'll say her name is Emily.
Yeah.
And her husband James. So she started explaining to me, and I just want to start off. But when she called in, it was traumatic. I could hear it in her voice. She was beaten down.
Wait, by the debt, right? Not her man?
No, not her man.
Okay, good. I was going to say, Jesus.
At this point in the call, her man wasn't in the picture anymore.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, this story gets out of control. So in their mid to late 20s, they were newlyweds.
Yeah.
Starting their life off, beautiful life together, excited for the future.
Shit.
And her husband at the time, James, he had just gotten a big promotion at work. So they decided it was time to upgrade their lifestyle. They got a condo together, decided to furnish the whole place, new electronics, home furnishings. Just to the nines is what she was
Oh,
telling
hell
me.
yeah.
They were super excited about it. And being that they had just gotten married a year before, they just finally decided to take their honeymoon vacation. So they started putting all of these expenses onto their credit cards. And obviously with their combined dual incomes, a married couple, he was now generating more income. They had bigger limits on their cards. So they even put the honeymoon to the Bahamas on the credit card.
Oh, no.
Everything was going fine. she was telling me, the payments at first were completely manageable. They were stoked. They were loving it. Life was good. But like, they were living the dream. But like all dreams, they end.
Oh yeah.
And
You wake up.
And
You gotta
life,
wake up.
life wakes you up quick. And it does. And a lot of these stories, the people will tell you that. And this started with the loss of his job, unexpected loss of the job and the income, and at that point
They had already upgraded.
they already upgraded the lifestyle.
Yep.
The bills were there. They were living a new lifestyle, and they wanted to maintain that.
Yeah.
They had the same expenses as they did 6 months ago, but they didn't have the income. But they had the credit card limits, and those payments. They started putting everyday expenses, gas, food, services, utilities, just automobile repairs. Everything was just going onto the credit cards now, and it just ballooned from what she was telling me. So initially, after the home furnishings, the Bahamas, all of that, she said she had a little over 20. I think I remember it being about like 22K or something like that. Within 3 years, she was like around 45.
Yeah.
And mind you, so each of them had their own individual accounts, but they also had joint accounts.
Oh.
Okay. Obviously, the joints were much bigger limits on them.
Yeah.
Because it was showing that dual income. So the payments ballooned. Obviously, this all happened just at the end of COVID, right? So he lost his job during the COVID shutdown and all that.
Yeah.
Expected loss. Like so many people that we talked to that have gone through this. So interest rates skyrocketed, and they could no longer keep up with the payments. So their beautiful dream life together started slipping away, and they started missing payments on some of their cards, having to sacrifice certain expenses, really basically just picking and choosing which ones to manage and maintain. Collection calls started coming in.
Dude, that's the worst.
She was just like, it was kind of crazy. She was like, man, she told me this. She's like, this is not like the life that I signed up for.
Oh.
Or they're like, I thought I was getting myself into, we were great. This guy, beautiful husband of mine, dude, he had a great career and he had like a master's degree. So she's like, we're set up for life. This is great. And that's not the way that it turned out. With that job loss and now the debt was amounting very drastically. So collection calls are coming in. This created a lot of financial and emotional tension within their marriage. To
Imagine. Was she working too, or was
She was a sugar baby.
She might have been. She said she was working here there, but he was the main breadwinner, right? So I think I do remember that now. She said that she had to take on an extra job. So now she's, right.
She wasn't just at home racking up all the debt.
No.
Yeah.
She was working too, but she had to pick up an extra job. She didn't have the degree that he had, so she wasn't able to generate as much income. Lovely woman, by the way. I mean, great gal. She's very personable, very, very friendly, but also very broken down from this. So she tells me, they ended up separating, had to move out of the condo, and she moved back in with her parents to save money.
Yeah, no.
Her
I couldn't do that.
now separated husband, they weren't sure what was going to happen with the marriage. He ended up filing for bankruptcy. He could no longer handle the debt and was not going to try.
Wow.
So
Is everything.
he filed for bankruptcy, so he was absolved of his portion of the debt. And she was left with her portion and the joint accounts. If you have joint accounts and one person files for bankruptcy, the other person you have to take on that debt, even if they spent on it.
I didn't even know.
So
Sounds like the trip to the Bahamas was the end of this relationship here.
Well, could have been the bankruptcy. She's like, dude, we're separated. Hope for return. Maybe we'll get back together if you figure out your income, and we can get over the debt hurdle. But once he did that, that was it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be with somebody if they want to be with me just for the money, but
Right, yeah.
It should. I'm not sure if that was the whole relationship. We didn't talk too much about it, but
I would imagine that breaks up a lot of couples. So
trips to Bahamas? Oh, fine. Yeah.
maybe that too. Yeah, the finances,
Yeah.
you aren't responsible. It becomes too much.
I think they say that, right? The two reasons why people divorce are money and kids.
Yeah.
I think my dad told me that. He said it wasn't the kids. It wasn't the money. And I was like, are you saying it was me, dude?
Are you implying
What, Dad?
am I the problem?
Say it again.
Oh, child, we love that.
So yeah, at that point, he was out of the picture. She was left with all this debt. She was living at home with the parents, who in their mid-30s wants to move back home with mom and dad.
I mean, this economy maybe, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were kind enough to let her do that, and she figured that this is the time because she's saving money and to reach out for help, and that's why she made the phone call to us. And I was glad enough to answer the call, man. I was very blessed to be able to speak with this woman. So we were able to help her out. At that point, I think the total debt that she was bringing in was mid-30s, 37 or so, 35 to 37,000. Credit card debts and one smaller, not as smaller, but like 7,000 personal loan. But yeah,
I'm keying cars over that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm tracking this dude down. I'm slashing tires. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, like, God forbid ever get into a situation and somehow this, like, podcast clip comes back to bite me, and it's like, oh, self-incriminate. We fucking got you.
We got you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we fucking got him. Clip it. That's crazy. That's actually pretty bomb.
You were able to get her out of the debt and, well, at least get her on a better path and get her working towards paying it off.
It's kind of funny, dude. This was like I said, I digging the archives a couple years ago. But I keep in contact with almost all of my clients. They always have ways to reach me. But yeah, she let me know that she had completed and finalized the program, graduated, no more debt, and that 37,000 that she would have paid, if she tried to do it herself, she would have even been able to, would have been easily, 1.5 to 2 times that amount with the interest and fees. So we got her off there. I think it was like right around 30K.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And,
She's debt
30K to sit, instead of paying what, like 70, 80, right?
She should celebrate and go to the Bahamas.
I think she even told me, I think she went back to school. Now she had a good job and was like, yeah.
Turn your life around. Who knows? I guess moral of the story is go to the Bahamas, get divorced after, turn your whole life around. Yeah.
File bankruptcy first.
Yeah. Or we'll have your partner file bankruptcy first.
Well, then you get left with the debt.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But she wouldn't, if it wasn't for him doing that, then,
Right.
kind of thing.
But when you talk to people, I'm always like, dude, don't bring the debt into your marriage. I talk to people all the time that are fiancés. I'm like, hey, solve this now. You don't want to bring that in, and then your debt turns into their debt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a situation like I hear so often of people just not spending the cash that they have available.
Yeah.
Putting it on the credit, not understanding that daily compound interest is the most dangerous thing that exists as far as your finances are concerned. But hey, they thought they could manage and maintain it, and they were able to for some time.
Yeah.
What would you say, like, the biggest mistake is you see people make when it comes to their debt?
Yeah. Biggest mistake would have to be
Getting married. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Having kids?
well, most people, like everybody, right? Like we all know it's like you have to have credit, right, to survive in this world today. For most people, living a cash lifestyle is extremely difficult to do.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to build a credit score in order to qualify for things like automobile loans, mortgage loans. So we all start that path of opening up, small credit cards and then be responsible. Whatever you spend that month, you pay it off, and you actually have the money in your savings account or your checking account. So you're just using the credit card as a way, to pay for the stuff that you could have bought on debit. It's super easy.
Yeah.
Then those crazy things happen where you have to utilize your credit, the limit that you don't have the cash for. And that's where people get caught, right? And then they think, well, I only spent $2,000. I could pay that off in minimum payments. I'm like, did you say minimum payments?
No, you won't.
Within 6 months, the interest payments are higher than your minimum payments.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a vicious and revolving debt cycle. But so for anybody that I would just say, do your research, understand, what credit is used for, why it is going to help you in life.
Yeah.
And have a target goal set with that. Don't just use it because it's available. This isn't free money.
Not monopoly money.
Just with debt.
No fun bucks here.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, like, for me, it was like, I mean, I think I've said this the last like 3 episodes, but like, it's probably the most debt I've ever had. It was like a little over like $2,000 or like $2,000 and some change. And like for me, like that felt like crippling.
Yeah.
And granted, like you said, the minimum payments, I was like, oh yeah, my card says just make your minimum payments. And I was like, oh, okay, if that's all they need. And most people are like, hey, I don't want to spend excess money, but then you're like you said, like this debt's gonna be like, it's never gonna go away,
Right.
If you're just making minimum payments because of the interest and everything like else and et cetera. Then I found myself like, yo, my total balance isn't really going down.
Yeah.
Where are my payments going to? It's the same thing with like car payments and such. So for me, like, I think it took me a while to understand that, like you said, if you don't have the money, like liquid, don't spend money, or like in regards to like your line of credit, don't spend that money if you don't have like the money, like
Readily.
liquid. Yeah. But
unless it's like an emergency or something.
oh yeah.
And for most people, it is. So many people go through these financial hardships, and you have to utilize that, which is understandable. But there is relief. You can get out of it.
Oh yeah.
You just have to stay pragmatic and diligent. I think it was up until a couple years ago, they didn't even have to show you on the back of your statements like the actual impact of minimum payments. So we live in this digital
That's
world.
criminal.
People are so busy.
Criminal.
I just set it up on auto payment, but they set it up for, instead of saying statement balance, minimum payment.
Yeah.
That's like the first one, right? And credit card companies want you to just pay your minimums. They want you to be in debt. The only way they make money is through interest. That's
System's fucked.
They actually call us. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but people that pay their balances off at the end of every month,
Yeah.
they actually call you. What is it? Debt dirt bags or something like that. So the credit card company do not like you if you're those people. You are not their preferred clients.
Oh my God, you're being responsible?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
So most people just set it up on these auto payments to pay the minimum balance, and they're like, I'm making my payments. This is great. I'm like, yeah, for the next 20 years, you're going to be making minimum payments.
And double, 3 times as much as what you spend.
Yeah, because like what is it, like variable interest rates are anywhere from like 22 to like 30 or some crap.
I joke with people all the time. And going back to the Bahamas, I'm like, while you're making these payments, I ask people like, where did you take your summer vacation this year? Like, we couldn't. I'm like, man, that's a sacrifice, right? Like you used to love taking the kids and the wife on a vacation. Well, right now you're sending that executive from whatever lender, from whatever creditor, on their summer vacation to the Bahamas.
Oh,
and you're
all
paying
these
for their
minimum
Mai
payments.
Tais.
Thank you. Oh, I
Pina
can
coladas and their Mai Tais, and you bought them.
I can afford all the Mai Tais, Bahama Mamas, the whole oh no, this is the work, man. We know what we should do, Phil? We should get into the banking business. We should just just lend out money, be like a middleman between banks and then people, and we just get a cut of it. Oh, dude, that'd be.
You're putting up the money, right?
Yeah, we can get this figured out. I'm sure banks can scumbag all of.
Crypto wallet we could borrow again.
Oh yeah, well, little crypto coin or what they call like meme coins, shit coins or something.
You're a Doge guy, probably.
Dude, I made no pun intended, but I made some good coin off Doge.
You made some good coins.
No, yeah, during COVID, I think I cashed out I think it was like 13 grand. It was great. Got as obviously like an early adopter, right?
This is not financial advice.
No, definitely don't get into crypto. I mean, like Bitcoin, other things, like sure, but like.
Brought to you by the host of Cents and Sensibility.
But no, I mean, like, I think there's like, something to be said about crypto, but regardless, yeah. I don't know. I think that, most people don't, like you said, like, on the back of statements and things, like, they'll read the fine print, and that's, myself included. For like the longest time, I would never read the fine print or like the manual or instructions on things. Now, like, anytime I get something, I'm just like, I'm reading this shit line for line. Oh!
Yep.
So that's how they get you, the fine print. Now I understand why they say that.
Yeah.
But I gotta know now, hearing your story about this lady, her divorce. Was it Emily and James, right? Yeah. So if, like, let's say someone similar to Emily and James, hey, they're listening, watching, so on and so forth, they're feeling buried in debt or their current situation, what would be like the first step you would, or for advice that you would tell them to take or do to like try to fix their or alleviate their current situation.
Yeah. I've talked to people with $2,000 worth of debt and hundreds of $1,000s worth of debt, and you feel like you're buried, but it's surmountable. You can solve that problem. So don't lose hope. You got to pick up the phone and call whoever you feel the most comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right. Just make a call, talk to somebody that you feel can offer some advice.
Oh no.
And at least start looking into options. Because calling your credit card companies your lenders, their only job is to make money off of you. They're not actually going to help you get out of the debt. They're going to help you create more debt, and that's their job. Another thing is that, and I hear this a lot from people that I've talked to over the years, they wear their credit score like a badge of honor, which is great, and you go to the dinner party and you're like, I have a 715 or a 720 credit score. And everybody applauds you, like,
yep. I think what you cap out, like,
hoist them on our shoulders and tout them around the room and cheers to them, but
then you look at their debt to income ratio,
exactly,
and they can't get approved for a loan anyway. So it's like,
because their utilization is just like way too high.
It's like they never
can't use.
They never come back around. They're like, well, how much debt do you have? Yeah. Oh, are you really going to tell this same dinner party that you have $50,000 to $70,000 worth of debt? No. So like, what's worse, right? And I was telling people that I'm like, I understand this whole credit score situation that you've worked so hard to achieve, but at the same time, you're buried in debt, right?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of sometimes put that on the back burner. Like, what's the target goal here? Is to get out of debt or accrue more debt?
Yeah. Right.
And for most people, it's just educating them on that in a very polite way, because people have worked hard for these things.
Yeah.
But you also work yourself into a mountain of debt that's crushing you.
That's how they get you. Like, oh, hey, get this score, get this money.
Right.
Oh, you got this money. Oh, now you're trapped. Yeah. You want to get glazed? You got to have a good score. I mean, jeez. But, yeah, that's okay. Well, I mean, shit. I mean, yeah, I think, like, to your point about, like, just, like you said, just picking up the phone.
Yes.
I'm a procrastinator. I can comfortably admit that. And for me, I think, like, just doing anything, just taking that first step is always, like, nerve-wracking.
Sure.
I'm sure, Phil, you probably dealt with that.
Yeah, no one wants to, like, talk to someone about their debt, too, and admit they, like, have a problem and need help. It's hard to do that. So.
I mean, it's like drugs. I mean, yeah. It's similar to drug addicts.
Very similar to drugs. Like, you can get addicted to shopping online.
Oh, shit, yeah. Amazon, dude. Oh, it's so bad. Wake up the next day, or you come home, you're like, where do all these packages come from?
Right.
I'm just like, oh, I got a problem.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, but that's the first step. Like,
admitting.
Most of these people have proven they can't do it themselves, so they need to talk to someone.
Right. Yeah, which I think is fine. I think you can't go through life without, like, getting help. As much as, like, I think everybody wants to pride themselves on being able to do things alone or by themselves. I think that, accepting help from time to time is it's okay.
Right.
But yeah.
But I mean, it's like anything, right? Like, you wouldn't, if you had a problem with your car, would you just tinker around on it and probably break it more yourself, or would you go to no? if you're ill, right? Would you just try to do home remedies and make the sickness get worse? No, you would go check in with a doctor.
Right.
At least get some professional advice.
Some people try to do that.
So yeah, the first phone call is absolutely the hardest, but call someone, whether you heard it, from an advertisement or someone else recommended to you, and just pick up the phone, have a conversation. If they're a professional and they've been doing this for long enough, like, they'll 100% help you feel more calm about the situation. You don't feel guilty. You don't need to feel ashamed. The United States right now, we're trillions and trillions of dollars.
For like 35 now, I think.
Personal loan debt.
6 going on 37.
Sure.
Like, if you walked outside right now, just pick 10 random people.
Yeah.
Like 7 out of those 10 could use a debt relief service.
Yeah.
Probably within the next 5
I believe that.
Like,
I mean,
5 out of those will probably use the same service, right? It's like everybody is starting to do this, and this is becoming the new norm.
Yeah.
And creditors are well aware of it. They understand the situation. So why not take advantage of it as a consumer? It's here to protect you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, damn.
Protect your money. Put it back in your pocket, right? Your wallet, where it belongs.
I mean, yeah. What was it saying? It's like, I work hard for money. I work hard for my honey. Oh, that too. You gotta spend it. Yep.
You got to spend it on your honey, but
Yeah, it's true. Or the honeys if you're into that thing. Well, all right, yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, and yeah, I mean, I love to think it too. Yeah, good
you
laugh.
guys are awesome, man. You guys are doing great work here.
Trying to, just have fun.
Yeah.
Just inform the masses, the people, But just want to let everyone know also, since we're working with our friend Kevin here to be, informative or bring information to you guys. Today's episode is sponsored by Done with Debt. They provide debt relief services. They have a wonderful team of certified debt specialists or consultants. I mean, they're specialists, well, one and the same, right? Like Kevin here. So if you do have any kind of debt, whether, it's 6, 10, 15, 20 or more, God forbid, feel free to explore your options. Just give them a call. Nothing can hurt from having a conversation. You can give them a call, I believe. It's 888-322-1054. And if you don't want to call and talk to anybody, you can just go online to donewithdebt.com. Fill out a quick form. It should take about 30 seconds. And they'll reach out to you. And again, just explore your options. Nothing can hurt from it. But yeah, I think with that being said, I would say that if you
should like and subscribe and keep following us for some more great content and great stories like Kevin just shared with us.
Always keep your sense and sensibilities in check.
Yeah.